Hey, welcome back to the channel. So what are we doing today? A viewer wanted to see some of my old jacks, and I'm in kind of a melancholy mood, so I don't feel like going deep dive into history or talking about how something works. I just like to look at some cool knives. How about you guys? If you'd like to do that, go ahead and check out the video. We're just going to look at these knives, just basically look at them. So we'll see you in the video. All right, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers, and thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. I really appreciate it. I think you're going to enjoy this. We're just going to look at these knives, talk about them a little bit. Just pulled a few of my jackknives out. I don't want this to be too long, so let's get right into it. First up, there is a beautiful slim dog leg pattern here, and looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? It's not a case though. A lot of companies made these slim jacks and slim dog leg jacks, and of course Case makes one in the 48 pattern, but this is a Utica knife and razor company. Let's see if I could get that in for you quickly. Come on, there it is. Utica Knife and Razor Company. It is a rare tang stamp, and it is the forerunner of the Powell Cutlery Company. So before Powell was Powell, it was Utica Knife and Razor. And this is just a gorgeous knife. Look at that. Beautiful bone on it. Next up, what is this? Let's see. Ooh, this is a really special knife here. So you got a little single blade jackknife, regular jack. It is 3¼ inches. This knife is an L. Bradley and Company knife, Naugatuck. So L. Bradley was the first pocket knife manufacturer in the United States. Holley Manufacturing followed him shortly in 1844. So he started in 1841. You can still see the square tang right there. Can you see that? It's a really old knife. This knife would date between 1844 and 1856 when he went to the, was it Waterbury? I'm not really sure. He changed his tang stamp then, but just a beautiful. You can still see some of the brown there in the rosewood. It's carbon steel bolsters, liners, and pins, and it has a great spring to this knife. It's in great shape. Listen to that. Half stop. There you go. Next up, ooh, this is a cool one. This is a Cattaraugus. So this is the forerunner to the TL29, and so this is an electrician's knife. Cattaraugus came out with this. I'll show you a tang stamp here. See if we can get her better. There you go. Boy, it's hard to see because of that divider. Cattaraugus Cutlery Company. And it has a nickel silver divider. You see it right there. And that locks the electrician's blade right here, the screwdriver blade. And Cattaraugus patented this in 1909. and they were the first ones to do this divider. And this is the knife that you see with the signal corps shields on it. I don't know whether this was in the military or not. Probably not, but could have been. But anyhow, this is 3 5/8. In 1930, they revised the design and made it 3 3/4. And this is just man, action is great on this knife. Blades are in great shape. Good tang stamp. Nice snap on this thing. Look at that. Well made knife. That's the way Cattaraugus did it. They made good knives. All right, next up, this is a Robison Jumbo Jack. You can see it's Coca-Cola. I don't know how well you can see that. It looks pretty. Look at that Coca-Cola. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Really big, chunky knife. So let me give you, where is my, so that's it in comparison to my medium case. Big, chunky knife. Great shape. Great action on this knife. Look at the geometry in that blade, how thick it was. And there's the tang stamp. That says Robison Sure Edge and Script with Rochester, New York. That tang stamp will put this between 1910 and 1921. Beautiful knife. This is a Slim Jack. I kind of wanted to bounce around and show you just different things. This is a really interesting kind of Coke bottle, but not quite there. It does have a center swell in it. Unusual brass bolsters on this. Look at that. And a beautiful bone. This is not ivory. It's a natural bone. And knife probably dates to the 1920s, maybe a little earlier. You see the Lion Cutlery Company, Germany. A lot of times you'll see Lion Cutlery stamps with Austria on it. But the parent company was in Germany. Great action on this. A nice little knife. Pretty cool. You can see that swell right there. It's very subtle, but it does swell. And it has a flared into it. 3 threads. Pretty cool. Good action on this thing. It's a good knife. Here's another Robison. This is a pretty interesting knife. These are actually fairly easy to find. It's not really hard to find one of these. It's a big knife, 4 inches, all aluminum and light as a feather. So it is, even though it's 4 inches and about 35% bigger than this case, it's lighter than this case. So pretty cool idea. You have a lightweight, kind of like a 75 pattern. And there's your tang stamp, Robison Cutlery, USA. So that tang stamp ran from 1917 to 1939. And just really good shape. This thing was kind of dull when I got it. I had to clean it up. But, there's your pen blade, big old pen blade. Nice looking spade blade there. And I think that's cool, Pawnee. So Pawnee is an Indian tribe. And that's pretty neat. So Bert put his name on his knife so nobody stole it from him. And if they did, he knew it was his. And then Pawnee on the back. I don't mind that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of, the way Bert did things. I don't know Bert, by the way. but he definitely liked to write all over his knife. This is another Robison, and I just picked it up because this is a big old knife, 3 3/4, beautiful original bone on this knife. Look at that. Beautiful knife. Brass liners. Let's open her up. I think this has one of these are a lazy blade, I believe. Look at that big prominent swedge on here. This was a pretty thick blade too at one time. It's got a lot of wear on it, a lot of snap on this blade. I can't do that without starting it. So you're talking about a 7 pull on that. Look at the transition between your blade and back spring. Just tight. And it's Robison, sure edge. I can't see the bottom. I think that's a Rochester, New York, but I'm not really sure. And there's your other tang stamp, Robison Cutlery Company. Robison always used an alternative tang stamp on the small blades. If you get you a Robison, it's got 2 different tang stamp. The main blade is the tang stamp that you use to date the knife. Big old knife. Isn't that nice? This is a Utica Cutlery Company knife. Great knife. Look how thick the blade is. Probably has lost its point at some time period. You see the beautiful Utica Cutlery Company, Utica, New York. Very unusual jigging on this, and a very unusual knife. So it's a center swell. It's straight on the back, has a center swell here, but like most center swells are dramatic. They come to a point, and this is kind of subtle and rounded. And then you have this kind of truncated saddle horn on the end there. And yeah, just unusual, isn't it? I like that. This is a big old boy here. Big boy. 4 1/4 inch, 2-blade equal end jack. And this is a Booz Brother knife. They had a retail outlet in Toledo, Ohio, and they ran from 1856 all the way up to 1939. But I'm pretty sure this is made by Robison, and so I put the date on this with the shape of this. Yeah, probably around that 1920s, 1930s. Just an awesome equal end, man. Awesome. Yeah, real good shape. So yeah, that was made on contract by Robison. Here's a really cool. I bought this knife for $3. Nobody wanted it, but I mean, you know what? If you can't deal with that, it's easy to replace these scales. And I couldn't let this thing pass to prosperity, right? I had to revive it, and it had to come in the home for wayward knives, because that's what I do. You know, I give these guys a home. Nobody loves them, but I do. Pretty cool. Just screams at you, doesn't it? RCC, old time marking on the, this is a steel bolster, steel liners. Just an old time knife. It's in fairly good condition. You could take this out and use it good, walk and talk on it. It's not, loose or anything. This is a really interesting one here. This is I think it's a Terry. can't remember the name of that. Yeah, it's Terry Cutlery from Toledo, Ohio, and an old Civil War captain. He used to be a captain on a Civil War ship, and he started a retail outlet, and this is from his retail outlet. It is a Miller Brothers knife. You see the screws. The Miller Brothers, they patented these screws in natural bone here. Just a cool old pruner. This knife, probably at least 1890, maybe 1880, but at least 1890. Around 1890, Miller Brothers. It was taken over in 1878, and they just started getting away from these screws and going to pins. So the screw ones are older. Here's another old Coke bottle. Bought this pretty inexpensively. Nice. I believe that wood is ebony. It's really tight grain on it. And pretty good action, but it's worn. But this is a Continental Cutlery. Can't see the whole thing, but you can see it wrapping around right there. Continental. You can see a little bit of there. So Continental knives were made by Robison. And this looks exactly like a Robison model Coke bottle. I've got one, and they look exactly alike. But I like it. I like that old beat up wood on there. I like that crack. I could repair it, no problem. I could put new wood on here or sand this. And I decided just to leave it like that because it says I'm old and don't mess with me. This one right here is a Hibbard Spencer and Bartlett knife, a hardware store up in Chicago. They use that OVB, our very best. You can see that right there. Nothing on the other side except the number 1472. That kind of helps us figure out, who made a knife that used a 4-digit number. So it couldn't be a Robison, couldn't be a Cattaraugus. Also, there's a patent number on this punch here. So this is one of my only harness knives that I have. Harness knives have as a main blade and a punch, and they're usually regular jacks. And good action on that. But this patent dates to 1905. Yeah, I'd put this around 1905 to 1910, 1915 because of the little pins here and the use of this is just carbon steel bolster on here. Pretty cool knife. Oh, that's a New York knife company knife. I forgot to tell you that. Fuller it's a Fuller punch, patented the New York knife company. All right, here's another great old ebony knife there. 2-bladed regular jack. This is 3 1/4 inches. And what is it? It's a New York knife company knife, Hammer brand. Good action on it. Did not polish out these blades or bolsters. Decided to leave it as is. They got steel liners, steel pins. There's 4 pins there. I'd say this knife is probably from the 1800s. Something was stamped in there too. I don't know what, but I'm just seeing that. I don't know. Cool little knife though. Little snap on there. A little rusty on our pin. There's your New York Knife Company. So these New York Knife Company, I think I want to say 1856 is when they were born, but they adopted this hammer brand symbol, which is the arm. Let me see if I can show you, which is the arm. See it right there with the sleeve rolled up. In 1878. Then it was 83 when they put the hammer brand slogan on there. So the fact that it has a slogan would say couldn't be older than 1883. I think this thing is pretty old, though, actually. I don't think this is a newer hammer brand knife. I'd say, 1890s and 1910. Another Robison. So this is another big. So this is the little brother of this knife right here. They're exactly the same, except this has one blade and this has two blades. And this is a Continental knife. See right there, Continental, New York, Continental Cutlery Company on the bottom, New York. And of course, Robison made those. This is new, so somebody's replaced the scales on it. It's okay. It's okay. Replacing the scales, as long as you're replacing it with similar material that it had, doesn't change the collector value of the knife. Looks like they just glued the shield on top of it. I know Robison, I can't ever recall seeing a Robison that they glued the shield. They were all pinned, and they made a really fine knife. So this has obviously been renovated. Nice knife though. Ooh, this is a Remington. Look at that. Remington jack, federal shield on it. Look at the colors and hues on this old bone. Really neat. I'm surprised that darkness stayed with the knife all these years. A little darker on the back. That's typical of a knife. This guy was probably left-handed. Probably held his knife like that. And there's your tank stamp. Snap in. So that Remington UMC, made in USA, ran from 1924 to 1933. Would be your date on this knife. Pretty good shape on this knife though, man. A lot of times it's hard to find a good Remington that's affordable and in good shape like this. It really is. You can get the ones that are all beat up, but it's hard to find these. There's your swedge. Cool Remington. Another Robison. I couldn't wait to get this knife because when you look at that, it's kind of golden. I don't know whether the camera picks it up, but just the way this thing aged, it has kind of a golden look to it. And Robison never made a golden die, so it's just how this thing has aged. But really cool. Arrow shield. Originally, these arrow knives, you see that little space, so that's not a sunken pin or anything. That was made by the manufacturer, and they painted them red. And so you had an arrow pointing at a target is the way that worked. This one has a broken blade. I don't care. The rest of the knife is in good shape. Nice. See the tank stamp on it. Robison, Sure Edge, Rochester. So this is made between 1921 and 1939. And it's got a broken blade. I figured at some point I can put another Robison pin blade on it. Or, you know, I could weld it. So I might do that too at some point. It's half stop. See that? Nice smooth half stop. Really cool. All right, just a couple left. Here is another Remington. It's a bigger Remington. So look at them. That's the little one. This is the bigger one. Has a little different shield on it. So check out. The shields are different. There's a little more point on the side here than this one. This is a little flatter. Really nice looking caramel bone on there. Look at that. Look at the coloring. Old bone's so cool. So I haven't cleaned this up. You see the back here? That's patina, and it's just pretty much black. That's pretty cool. I left it on there. I liked it. And you got nickel silver liners and dividers on this. Nickel silver pins. And the blades aren't that bad. So they've got a good patina on them. But they're not black like the back of this is. And this is the same era right here. Remington UMC, made in USA. That's a 24 to 33 stamp on there. Look how I left it black here. Isn't that cool? It's got a number on it too, R623. And, you know, they don't always have numbers on them. Nice wedge. Good looking clip blade. Matchstick. Look at the definition on that matchstick. And what do we got? Nice little pen blade. Remington did the same thing. So you notice here, it's a different tang stamp, right? On here. But you always go by the tang stamp on the main blade. So Remington did the same thing. They put a different tang stamp on the knife. And that's a lazy blade. Nice knife. Okay, we'll finish it out with some really cool knives. Now, this is a, I think this one is 3 1/4. It's only 3 inches. So this is a fruit knife, but Levin says fruit knives are jacks. I really don't consider most fruit knives jacks because they're so fragile. But this thing is solid. It's just folded metal with nickel plating on it. So this is nickel plated. You see you got some milling here on the knife. And just an attempt by George Miller. So George Miller was a brother of, of the Miller brothers. Miller brothers made that. And George, in 1878, when the business was failing and a new principal took the company over, George went off on his own, and this is one of his creations. And I have an ad showing these things for sale in 1885. So how cool is that? I got the smaller one and the bigger one at the same time. These are, companion knives. And that is so cool. Look at that. Both of them in great shape. You see the patent number right here, 1881. And George Miller went into business in 1880, and he retired in 1888. So that's the date range on these knives right here, 1881 to 1888. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't talk too much. I always get carried away. I've got Tobias disease. That's talking like Tobias Gibson. He's got the gift for gab, don't he? So do I. We'll see you in the next video.